So, what is enlightenment? Right? Throughout our spiritual journey, we're always told we're looking for enlightenment. We want to reach enlightenment. But has anybody really explained what enlightenment is? And can we really explain what enlightenment is, right? In a general sense. I'm going to try. Stay tuned. Welcome to another episode of A Few Minutes with Marvin. I inspire those who aspire to make positive changes in their lives. So let's go back to school, right? And the concept of learning with this video. This is going to lead to enlightenment. Trust me, we're going to get there. But right, when you start out in school, you start off with the basics, right? They're teaching you, in pre-kindergarten and kindergarten how to, identify colors and how to say your ABCs, and there's a lot of music involved and a lot of repetition and clapping and things of that nature to keep the beautiful soul's attention, right? So in the beginning of our spiritual journey, that's what's happening. We're going to all different YouTube channels and to these people with their books and the yogis and the meditation experts and looking at the tarot card readings, right? We do all of this stuff, right? Because we need to start learning. We're at the beginning, so we have to. We're in tune and resonating with easy things. Not easy, but beginner modalities of spirituality, right? We have to get our feet wet. We have to know what it feels like to get burned, right? As a child, sometimes, you can always tell them it's hot, don't touch it, but sometimes they have to touch it in order to know that it's hot, right? So that's us on our spiritual journey. Sometimes we have to touch a lot of different things, try a lot of different things to know that it's either good for me or it's not good for me, or it feels good for me or if it doesn't feel good for me, right? Oh, that hurts. Let me not go there. Or, ouch, that brought something up. That's a trigger that we do want to go down, right? So it's about learning discernment, right? What do I need for my journey? And this is an individual journey, no matter whose other content you go to, right? Whose books are you reading? Whose audio tapes are you listening to? Whose events are you going to gain knowledge and wisdom on your spiritual path, right? What tarot card reader does it best for you in this now moment? You know what I'm talking about. In our journey, we got funneled, right, into common things in spirituality that resonate with you. And sometimes we go way out of the box, right? Like my journey. I was learning, boom, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I want to learn that. I want to do Reiki. I want to do yoga and Kundalini. I want to wake my Kundalini up. It happens for all of us in our own unique ways. And all of this material will resonate with each one of us differently. I could be watching the same YouTube channel and get something different out of it than somebody else that just watched it, right? It could be sitting right next to me, right? It's just a whole thing like looking at a Picasso drawing, right? Painting. I can see all these other different things in there that mean different things to me, and you'll see it and go, it's just a bunch of splotches all over the place, right? To me it has meaning, to you it has meaning, but it's different. You're not wrong, right? Because that's what it means to you, and I'm not wrong because that's what it means to me. So on your spiritual path to enlightenment, it's about, right, keeping yourself informed, learning, right, doing things, practicing things, trying things out to see if it really does resonate or fit for you. And if it does, make it a regular routine and a habit, right? Until you don't need that anymore, right? Now, in terms of being in school, now you can graduate to the next level, the next class, the next course, right? The next grade. Those are the steps that need to be taken in order for you to get your own enlightenment. And here's the thing. What is enlightenment? It means different things to all of us because we're all on our unique paths. We're on our individual soul missions here, right? Some of us are doing it collectively, but individually, we have to put the work in for ourselves, experience what we're meant to experience, release all that does not serve us for our highest good. But we need to be aware that those things aren't for our highest good first, right? So sometimes we have to get left back in class because we didn't learn the lesson, right? Then here's the time to do something different, right? Now you're back in that same class. Are you going to sit there and moan that you have to be here in summer school all summer and not learn anything? Or this time do you want to really apply something to it and get a different approach on it? Seek some help with it, right? Because if it's something that you need to do to progress, then you may need some help. You need some guidance. You need a coach, a guru, a mentor, right? Or you need to take more classes that are in that same genre, right? So that you can really put that picture together for yourself, so that you can embody it. But always with the intention of releasing it when it no longer serves you. That's where we get stuck on our path to enlightenment as spiritual souls. We just get in the routine, and routine becomes what we do, and then it's not teaching us anything anymore. So now we have to consciously say, okay, this isn't teaching me anything anymore. I still love doing it. I don't need to do it as much anymore because I'm not getting much more from it. It's still part of me. I still enjoy doing it, love doing it, right? It fills me up. But now I don't need to do it as much, because if I keep doing it as much, I'm creating a new cycle for myself and a new loop of comfort zone, right? And there's the key. Getting out of your comfort zone every single time will help you gain your enlightenment, which enlightenment for me just means absolute tranquility and peace everywhere I go. Now you say, that's not possible because there's so many things that are outside of you that are distracting you. But that's what enlightenment is. It's being able to be present, staying in yourself, in your beliefs and what you're doing proudly, without wondering if somebody's going to mock you for it, shame you for it, judge you for it. No, I'm here and this is what I'm doing. This is making me happy, right? And the more you start doing that consciously, the more it becomes truly you, right? So all these things that we're doing now and learning and the rabbit holes we're going down and taking what sticks and releasing what doesn't stick, and then what does stick, releasing that when it's not sticking anymore, right? We're going to school. We're continuing to graduate to the next level, to go into the next grade, to find a new professor, a new teacher in some cases, or to learn from experience by doing it ourselves, right? That's our own education. So this is all our education. Enlightenment is your education, but it's your education. It's not anybody else's education. It's what feels right to you. It's what your soul wants you to learn and know in this now moment, right? Because that's what we're here for, whether it's with other people, whether it's by yourself, whether it's in groups, whether, it's spiritual or not. It doesn't have to be spiritual, but enlightenment and spirituality go hand in hand. I don't believe that I can be an enlightened soul if I'm not spiritual, if I don't do certain practices that light up my soul, that make me want to get out of bed, right, every day. Those things have to become who you are, not always finding it. So you reach enlightenment when you no longer need to find what makes you happy, because everything you're doing makes you happy. Every decision you're making, every choice, every person you're around makes you happy. And anytime you're in a room, it shifts everything. That's being an enlightened soul. It's not how others perceive you. It's how you walk. You walk your talk with confidence and strength and love, right? Because once you're that confident, You love yourself. So anybody who wants to be in your space has to start loving themselves, right? So they're elevating their frequency to match yours. Now they can be in the same space as yours. But remember, you're in your space and they're in their space. So it's all about also respecting where everybody is on their journey. And that's hard, right? Because we have a lot of programming and limiting thoughts that we picked up along our journey from birth to now. No matter how old you are, age doesn't matter. You can be an enlightened soul at the human age of 16. Yeah, that's possible. It's all up to the individual and the work that you're going to put into it that's going to keep you on your path to enlightenment. And it's not about, well, what is it? I got to see it in order to get there. No, you're the creator. You create your own path to enlightenment. It looks different for each and every one of us. That is the point of this video. Enlightenment is not one singular thing that we all do or we all have, right? We're all going to have it, but it's our own. It's mine is different than yours, it's different than hers, it's different than whomever, right? That's enlightenment. The absolute knowing, being, without having to guess it, without having to sit there and trying to meditate, right? Sometimes you're just there. You're just sitting there, and all of a sudden you go, oh wow, I was meditating, right? It's when you don't even know you're doing these things because they are who you are, right? And it doesn't have to. I don't have to agree with how you reach your enlightenment or how you perceive your enlightenment. If you're there, you're there. And you're going to elevate your frequencies to attract the people that are like-minded, right? That are meant to be in your path now, that now you can help pull up to reach their enlightenment with no judgment, with no expectations that it has to be done exactly the way that you did it. Because if that's ego, that's not enlightenment. If you're expecting, I'm a yoga instructor and everybody's got to do this and your toes got to point in this specific direction. If it's not there, you're doing it wrong. Well, that's ego. That's not enlightenment. You have to allow people to do things in their own way. I'm learning that now too. I'm going to be teaching a Qigong class and a mindfulness meditation class. So when I decided to do this, it made me aware. Am I practicing this for myself correctly? Not is it done right the way I learned it on YouTube or the guru or whomever I got trained by. No, does it feel like me? When I'm doing my Qigong, am I feeling the energy? Am I flowing, right? Am I doing the breathing and the deep breathing that I'm teaching these people? And if my answer to that is yes, I'm enlightened. And then it won't matter. I don't have to go, no, you're standing wrong. I'll just lead by example. And if they want, they'll follow that example in their way. And if it doesn't look the same way as I'm doing it, that's fine, right? That's the way they can do it. That's the way it resonates with them. And if they don't show up for the next class because it didn't resonate, it's not something that I did that's wrong, and that won't even enter my consciousness. It just didn't resonate for them. They're gonna go look somewhere else. But at least they tried, right? So that's where enlightenment is. What enlightenment is to me is the fact that I can be in a room doing my own thing and still teaching, but not having an expectation that they're going to do exactly the way I do it because they're not meant to. That's enlightenment. When you can detach from that outcome that, oh my God, their pirouette wasn't perfect or whatever, right? Or their mountain pose in yoga, or their standing Qigong pose isn't exactly right. They're still tense. I can point those things out, but I can't bend them into the position like a lot of trainers try to do that. But you can't. If somebody doesn't have that capacity within them, as long as they're trying to do it, let them do it in their way. That's being enlightened, right? Here's another thing that's enlightenment. you'll know that you're closer to enlightenment. I don't know that we ever reach total enlightenment, because then we're just light and we're out of here anyway. I can't wait for that, right? I can't wait. But for now, I'm just gonna not even think, am I being enlightened, an enlightened being right now? That's not my goal, right? It's not what's in my mindset, that I have to be so perfect and get my life so buttoned up that I'm gonna be enlightened. No, it's in the allowance, right? Allowance of all the experiences that are coming in. Don't label them good or bad. Just they're here. How do I go past this? What do I learn from this, right? Enlightenment is the ability to just say, okay, this is the situation I'm in. I'm not going to panic about it. I'm not going to react. I'm going to respond. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to take it in. I'm going to experience it. It's meant to teach me something. The more you do that, man, you're steps away from enlightenment. And I'm not saying that you're not, because you can be enlightened and still be doing that, having those doubts and stuff, right? It's about the experience. It's about the education, right? It's not about the end goal of being enlightenment. It's getting there, baby steps, step by step, reading this book, taking that course, watching this video, meditating, a lot of time in silence and in nature, right? Back to schools. Earth is our school. This ground can teach us things, right? The birds, trees, the energies, right? As we ground with barefoot mostly, or laying down or whatever. Get yourself attached to nature. That's our teacher. That's our biggest teacher, right? Because that's what we're meant to be anyway. We were created to never be separated from nature, not to wear these, shoes with rubber soles, to be barefoot and walk as one, right? Getting that energy, putting our energy back into the ground. That's what we do. That's what all beings do. Animals, plants. We're always growing and learning and healing each other. We're all supposed to be that way. So the more that you can do that, in the beginning, of course, you have to intention, and reminders, and stopping, and making choices that don't necessarily get you anywhere, but just taking those experiences in and moving on, right? But always trying to better yourself and not fall into the cycles anymore, and recognizing them, right? So you have to recognize the patterns that you're in and cut them off. Don't beat yourself up if you fall back, but always remembering that you can always get off this cycle, right? Nature, as they've created it, it's not nature. Is for us to fall back into our comfort zone. That's not our nature. Our nature is to be hunters, gatherers, wanderers, explorers, inventors, right? Creators. We have to get back to that. And when you start getting back to that, that is pure enlightenment. Where you can you're not forcing yourself to create something. It's flowing through you and to you, and boom, there you go. Just like this video. Seconds before I turned on this camera, really had no idea what I was going to say or what I was going to touch on. I started going through some ideas in my mind. Maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm just going to turn it on and whatever comes, right? Because I've made some shifts in my life this week. And I can see them clearly that if I allow things to be there, they're going to just be there. And I don't have to force it. In fact, the opportunities come in and I can see them so much more clearer, and I make a decision to jump on it or not to jump on it in the moment. Not to regret it, but the other day, for example, I'm starting to teach Qigong. And I had 3 ladies in the cafe that I'm working at, and as I'm walking by them, and I used to be that person who listened in on every conversation. I don't do that anymore, and that's just mindful. It just fell away. It's none of my business, pretty much. But all of a sudden I heard the word Tai Chi and the context with what they were using it, and I just stopped in my tracks, and I said, I just told them, hey, I'm going to start teaching a class right across the street. And they happen to be elderly women, and I said a lot of them are physically are in physical therapy, and this is part of the program we're offering them. But they were well aware of Qigong because they take Qigong classes at the local community center, and what they were discussing was a different program for Tai Chi because their Qigong trainer is not in his 90s and is going to be retiring soon, so they have to figure something else out. And now I'm telling them about what I'm doing for full distance. with Qigong, and they're like, oh my God, we may sign up. So see how that happened? If I wasn't in that that frequency, right? Because that's what brings me passion. Tai Chi, Qigong, those things that are good for your health. And they're my client, right? Because that's who I'm going to be teaching. It just all clicked in that split second because I was walking by them and it just heard it. And I went, instead of going by and saying, oh, what a coincidence, I'm like, no, there might be something here. Let me engage these beautiful souls. And I did. And they didn't care that I interrupted them. I didn't blatantly interrupt them, but, they conversated with me about it. And there may come something from it, and there may not. But that's enlightenment, not worrying whether there is or not. There was an opportunity for me to speak my truth, and I did. And that's what I mean about enlightenment. When you don't even know you're doing something, or with no intention, no reason behind it, no agenda. Right now at the cafe, I put on YouTube, but I put meditation frequencies on, right? 528 hertz, 432 hertz, drums, Tibetan bowls, jazz. There's 432 hertz, jazz. And I don't think anything of it. That's what I want to hear, right? I'm not saying, oh, who do I want to attract? Do I want to attract the kids and put hip hop on? Do I want to put, no. This brings me peace. I'm not being selfish about it, but I'm there for 7 hours a day. Might as well stay in my truth, right? Because that's my truth. And if somebody asked to change it, of course I would. Nobody has. But the other day, an older gentleman was sitting there, and as he's getting ready to leave, I'm saying goodbye, and he goes, my goodness, he goes, I love the music that was on now. It's so soothing and calming. He goes, you go into these places now, and the music's so loud, and it's not something I want to hear, but he goes, thank you, this was nice. I'm like, oh, wow. That was like, wow, I'm grateful, right, that this resonated with this man. I have people in there in and out all the time. No one ever mentions the music. But in this now moment, that guy did. So it was resonating for him. And that's what enlightenment is, because I wasn't planning on it. It doesn't matter to me if it resonates with anybody. It's where I'm at. But it elevated that man for that few minutes that he was there having his sandwich. That's being of service. And that's being an enlightened soul. Because you're doing it for you. I keep saying this in all my videos. Everything that we do should be focused on us and what brings us passion and our truths. That's enlightenment. And that's the end of this video. If you like the contents of this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'm truly grateful. And if you're still having trouble, right, with the judgment part of yourself and not having a confidence in yourself, to know that you're already there, that you put in the work, you planted the seeds, you don't have anything else to do except be and be present. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of work. You got to go back to school, right? You start at the beginning and do the baby steps up and take the classes and the trainings and the tests and experience life. All these things together will bring you to enlightenment. But if you need somebody to help you, like I said, we all need gurus and mentors and coaches, right? If I resonate with you, I'd be my honor to help you. I am a spiritual transformation coach. Here's a link to my website. Just shoot me an email for a free 30-minute decompression session. And let's see, maybe I can just bring some things up to you or ask the right questions so that you realize that you're already on your path and give you some ideas on, where you want to go from here. That's it. It's really that simple, but it can change your life because sometimes you need that somebody else's perspective on it. And I'd love to help you. So keep shifting your life. Keep working. Keep experiencing the things that you're meant to experience. Judge less. Judge yourself less. Love yourself more. And stand in your truth more. That's your path to enlightenment. And you will. You'll enlighten yourself, and you may enlighten others in the process just through being yourself, right? Inspiring yourself. Because as you are inspired, you inspire others. So I'm inspired. I hope it inspires you. If it doesn't, that's okay too. But Stay inspired, stay blessed, trust yourself, trust your instincts, do the work, go back to school, and have an amazing day.